All right. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's enjoying their Friday. It's a little more tense than I want it to be, but hey, it's what it is. So let's get right to it here. So we have a severe thunderstorm that is the technically classified severe thunderstorm is this one right here. Whoops, if I can get my thing to work. There we go. Is that one? That one's not going to come anywhere near Saxy, so we don't have to worry about that one. Although that does have some, or did anyway, have some decent sized hail in it. So this storm that's just south of us right here is getting organized. You can see a couple lightning strikes right there. Might even heard some thunder there. So let's put this in motion and see what we got here. And it's looking like, and let me, while it's doing that, let me do this. Okay, go this way. All right. So right now it is behaving in the sense that it's in two respects. One, it hasn't become severe yet, and which obviously has a decent chance of doing. Number two, it's moving pretty much due east. So I think that if you kind of extrapolate that out, it's not going to really affect most parts of Saxy. But it's definitely something we want to watch, that's for sure. So let's expand the picture out a little bit and see what else is going on. So, we're not out of the woods yet. As I've been mentioning all night tonight, or really all evening, I should say, we're east of the dry line. So we'll expand this out. And this shows up pretty good on the radar here. And let's put this in motion and you can probably pick it out. So yeah, it's very well defined there about an hour ago. And just in case you can't see it, the position of the dry line is something like that. And so anything east of that dry line, it's kind of the potentially bad in the sense that, we could see some storms as we're seeing now. And so the cap, is, believe it or not, the cap is holding pretty good when you think about it. We're not getting this catastrophic, weakening of the cap to where we're seeing a bunch of storms explode, which ironically wouldn't be a horrible thing because the more storms we have and they congeal together, that kind of knocks down the hail threat a little bit. But anyway, that's not what we have right now. So that's the dry line. So it's just west of downtown Fort Worth, probably really just going along I-35, then when it turns into 35W, pretty close to that corridor right there. So I'll stop this. Okay, so let's go a little bit bigger here. And I just saw another warning, and yeah, okay, that's way up there in Oklahoma. Okay, so what I want to show though is, probably within, for these storms we're seeing right here, excuse me, we're once these storms pass, we're kind of, I dare say, out of the woods, but we're not really out of the woods until the dry line passes. And by the way, the dry line may not pass. At night, dry lines tend to stop and back up. So the next area that we're going to have to watch tonight is actually this area right here. So if we put this in motion, you'll kind of get an idea of why. So you see the general east-southeast motion of these storms, and that's why you get you have this extension of the severe thunderstorm warning for that storm into Grayson County, northwest of Sherman. It all depends on if these storms, congeal into a line. If they were to do that, then as I mentioned earlier in the day, damaging wind gusts would be the main threat with that, not necessarily hail. So, like I said, all along we've had two different scenarios going on here. Number one is in the first round of storms, we've had this big hail threat, which we've seen some of that today. And then the second threat with these storms really toward between now and midnight is really more of a wind threat. So it's, something that we definitely want to keep an eye on. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit more and get back to see what we got going on closer to home. All right. And by the way, all the yellow contours is hail contours. So that's what we've seen these storms drop. And if I can get this to work here, you could tell that storm that's went in the northwestern part of Ellis County. And of course, that's a classic supercell split. You can see when you put that in motion, it split pretty good, and that's a left mover as we call it. and it's those are notoriously hail producers. But as you can see, though, in the last couple of frames, it's that storm is starting to lose a little bit of its characteristics. However, the bad news, that's the good news for those guys. So the bad news is if we focus on this storm that's closer to home, and let's go ahead and stop this here. Yeah, you're starting to see some little purple splotches here, and that is indicative. Golly, I can't even talk, of hail. It's not anything to be totally concerned with at the moment, but it's definitely something that we want to watch, especially if you are, south of us. I would say in Rowlett, and then probably in the Rockwall, maybe in the Heath area. I watched this storm pretty good. Now, there's another storm that's popped up, and we'll put this in motion. And it's like it started out just south of Grand Prairie. Oh, just updated there. Yeah, so again, you can kind of see the normal motion that you're seeing the storms east, northeast, maybe even east, southeast. It just depends on the storm. They're really more east, southeast if they're right movers. So as you can see, here's some more storms that want to pop up. Well, I always do that. Let's try this. Okay, here. This is a new one, and then we expand out here. If I can get this to work. Yeah, it's. I think my computer's got to catch up to all my quickness. I get crazy quick. Let's see. All right, so let me check my comments while it's doing that. Let's see. Oh, Chris, man. Yeah, the closed caption says sassy. Well, I could have said sexy, I guess. Jessica's. Oh, hey, Jess. Thank you. You're welcome. Leslie Williams. It's not hell at my house. I can promise you that. I would tell you that. Christy. Yeah, you're in Rowlett. So I don't know what part of Rowlett you're in, Christy, but if you're pretty much anywhere south of Highway 66, then I would definitely watch that storm. Obviously, pretty close. Okay, so let's do a couple different things. Let's put some different modes on here. Let's look at the velocity. Now, this is wind speed at the lower levels, and what the radar is looking for is it's looking for the whites and the reds close together. The greens and the reds, I should say, close together. I don't really see anything like that at all from a tornado standpoint, so not really much to worry about there. And now let's look at the hydrometer classification. And this is a good tool to see hail. So where you see the red, it's probably where you're going to see a decent concentration of hail. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to be hail, but the hydrometer measuring tool on the radar, in this mode, it bounces back. It becomes a darker color. And you look at the scale at the bottom, yellow, purple. If you see that, then that's typically a very solid object that it's reflecting the beam back on, and that's, of course, typically hail in this case. So nothing too crazy, but that bears watching, that's for sure. And as far as I don't think, let's see, I think this the hybrid. Yeah, that's... Again, shows a little bit of a hail core there, but that's the hybrid one. All right, so let's go back to the reflectivity mode. And okay, they are just now issuing another warning, and let's see what it is. It should pop up on the screen here in a second, but it's probably, if I had to guess, yeah, it's for that. Well, it's probably for both storms. It's probably for this storm and that storm. So let's click on the info here and see what the details are. Let's see. Yeah, severe thunderstorm located near Rowlett, moving east to 20. And then, as I guessed, the other severe storm near Cockrell Hill, moving east at 20. Well, right now, the hazards are 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail, so the hail size is not anything totally out of control. But again, the unfortunate thing with these storms that are forming is that it doesn't take much for the hail to get out of control, if you will. So hopefully it won't. All right. So let's see. Let me go back to that warning and see how long it's in effect for. I didn't even catch that. 9 o'clock. Okay. So let's expand this view out here and see what we got. All right. So let's put this in motion. So again, like I said, the atmosphere is pretty primed for these supercell thunderstorms. So here's what you need to keep in mind. If you are, in the big scheme of things, and we expand back out, if you are anywhere east of the dry line, which by far is most of us, except for our friends in western Tarrant County and western Denton County, I guess you could say, you're probably okay for now until the front comes through. But then, as I said, you're seeing these storms form, and you're seeing basically an east-southeast type tilt. So in the very short term, Saxe is okay. Rowlett is probably not, but, just Christie, be careful there. And let's switch real quick to, if I can get this to work, I'm going to see if I can pull up the satellite picture here, give you an idea of what that's looking like. All right, so let's do this. All right, and I have to change my screens here real quick, so bear with me. There we go. And all right. So I think somebody had made this comment before. So if you see where the true cold front is, you can see that dust plume that's south of Lubbock heading toward Midland, Odessa. So that's that's the actual cold front. And of course, you're seeing those line of storms in Oklahoma starting to fire up. Now, like I mentioned before, and I would say too, before the sun sets there, you can definitely see where the dry line is. And, like I said, most of the Metroplex is east of that. So, like I said, we're in the two-phase thing here. And I'll go back to the radar here. So I just thought that was a cool satellite picture. So let me fade back here. Okay, so in summary, let me tell you what to expect the next really half hour, something like that. So you're going to have these storms. You're going to have these storms pop up, and much like the storms you see here, they can produce hail pretty quickly, go severe pretty quickly. So something you want to watch out for. Secondly, once hopefully within the next hour or two, depending on the speed of the dry line, you will have to catch a break. And then if we expand out, we have to watch the cold front next. And if we can expand this out here, see what this storm's doing. Those are the up in this area is what we'll have to watch out for between now and midnight. So, all right. So let me go back one more time before we sign off here. Yeah, Jeff, that is that is the wrong way. All right. And so there's our storm in Ellis County and classic supercell split there. And then we got the storms forming just south of Saxe, and so far looks like they're going to behave and stay that way. So, okay, as always, I'm watching weather, so you don't have to. Definitely stay on top of this for you tonight. Stay safe wherever you are, and if you are anywhere east of the dry line, if you have a chance to protect your property from the potential of hail, then I would definitely take the time to do that. As always, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.